Hello everyone, I'm Sakshi Manoj. Being an engineering student, you all know how a good project work can be an essential part of your curriculum. Now, ideas can come from anywhere. It could brainstorm from something that happened recently or some story that caught your attention or anything like that. But you need some platforms to develop these ideas into reality. That's precisely what we'll be discussing today. It might be really beneficial for someone who is really new to emerging technologies like blockchain, machine learning, or big data. So, today we'll be discussing Hadoop, TensorFlow, and DApps. You'll learn more about them, their features, and also some projects that you could possibly work on using these platforms. So, let's get started.
Hello everyone. So now let us begin with the familiarization of Hadoop. Hadoop is an open source software framework which is used for storing data and is also used for running applications on clusters of commodity hardware. It provides massive storage for any kind of data. It has enormous processing power and it also has the ability to handle virtually limitless concurrent tasks. It has mainly two things: the distributed file system known as HDFS and a processing engine known as MapReduce. So now going to the features of Hadoop, the first feature is open source. So by open source we mean that it is freely available and the user can change the source code according to his or her requirements. Now the second feature of Hadoop is fault tolerance. This means that the data and application can be protected against the machine or hardware failure. Now the third feature of Hadoop is distributed processing. As I said earlier, Hadoop can store huge amounts of data and this is done in a distributed manner in the HDFS. And these data can be processed parallelly. Now the fourth feature of Hadoop is scalability. By scalability we mean that we can actually grow a system simply by adding nodes so that it can handle more data. Now the fifth feature of Hadoop is its reliability. The data can be stored reliably on a cluster of machines despite machine failure due to the replication of data. So that's it about the features of Hadoop. Now let us talk about a few projects that can be done using Hadoop. So one of the project is movie recommendation system. In a movie recommendation system, a user's historical data will be analyzed and then movies will be recommended to him based on these data on the same genre or kind of the data. So the main thing here is the algorithm that we are using. The efficiency and accuracy of this movie recommendation system is based on the algorithm used. So we have to find an algorithm which will make our recommendation system very efficient. Another project that can be developed in Hadoop is a sentiment analysis model. It is a model which is used to find the sentiments or opinions of the user. For example, we have a company producing lots of products. So it is very important for the company to understand the opinions and attitudes of people towards their product. So here, in this situation, they can use a sentiment analysis model to determine the opinion of the people towards a particular product, whether it is positive, negative, or neutral. So now that is just two of the projects that can be done in Hadoop. But there are actually lots of possibilities of projects that can be developed in Hadoop. So now I conclude by saying that Hadoop is an open source software which is very cost effective and flexible. Thank you.
Hello. Since you are already familiar with Hadoop, let me discuss with you another platform that you will be using for doing your projects: TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an effective tool for deep learning applications. If you have to deal with a large amount of data, like for example thousands of images, then deep learning could be an effective solution and TensorFlow could be used to create and implement your model. Now, let me notify you some of the brilliant projects that could be done using TensorFlow and some other aid. First of all, face mask detection. In the current times, it has become a law that everyone should wear a face mask. So, using this project, you can make sure that every people wear a face mask and they take necessary precautions. Footages from CCTV and webcam could be collected in order to detect and classify images. The cumulative count of those who wear mask and who doesn't wear mask could also be collected using this project. Another project is the classification of tomato. We all know that tomato is a perishable fruit whose ripening depends upon the humidity and temperature conditions. So, using this project, you can classify the tomato into various grades like grade A, grade B and grade C. Hope you all are pretty much clear about TensorFlow and its various uses. Now, let me highlight with you some of the remarkable features of TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source platform. It is very flexible to use, that is, it is very flexible in its operability. Scalability, pipelining, and debugging are some of the other features of TensorFlow. Thank you.
Hi, I'll be speaking about the decentralized applications or dApps. Now, since you are acquainted with the two platforms, Hadoop and TensorFlow, I'll be telling you about the development of dApps. A dApp has its backend that runs on a decentralized peer-to-peer network and its front-end code written in any programming languages. It contains a wallet that communicates with the blockchain. The wallet manages the cryptographic key and the blockchain address. Now let's see what are the advantages of dApp over the traditional app. Now why dApp? It's because in decentralized app, the changes made in the applications are decided through the consensus of all the members in the network. Unlike the traditional app, dApp do not rely on a single server. Therefore, you can prevent the risk of central point of the failure. Okay, having said that, how do we develop dApps? Let me familiarize you with some of the platforms for the same. Ethereum. It is the implementation of blockchain technology that can run smart contracts. The smart contracts enable the blockchain users to exchange money, property, and perform actions among a group of people, such as voting, without any central authority. For Ethereum platform, the smart contracts are defined using the language called Solidity. We can also use the Truffle framework, which provides a set of tools and codes for the same. Also, there are some other platforms like EOS, Tron, etc. The EOS platform uses C or C++ programming languages. So that's it for the day. Thank you.